Hey, thank you for joining me for your tarot reading. This is Jan with Velvet Bag Tarot. And the question of the day is, why am I stuck? A lot of us are stuck periodically for various reasons and in various subjects. And so now you're going to find out why and maybe what you can do about it. So why am I stuck? And the three words that will help you choose which reading is yours is cottage, cabin, or villa. Cottage, cabin, or villa, whichever one speaks to you, that is your reading for today. So we are going to jump in with the cottage people. Okay, so I have pulled three cards for you, three tarot cards and an oracle card and a Lenormand card. Okay, so let's see what we got. So for your three cards, you have, it is the Four of Cups. Okay, you have the Four of Cups. You have the Page of Cups in reverse. And you have the Seven of Swords. Okay, all right. So the Four of Cups, basically what the Four of Cups is all about is regret. It's regret about things that didn't work out. So in this picture of the Four of Cups, he has three cups that did not work out, and he's being offered a fourth cup, but he's hesitant to take it because he's disappointed for the ones that haven't worked out. And kind of the message of this particular card is that you want to embrace all opportunities. You want to embrace this opportunity. It's being offered to you, and don't dwell on what's over. Okay, there. All right, and the second card is the Page of Cups in reverse. And this card is about childhood issues or past issues. It doesn't have to be childhood, but it can be childhood, but just past issues. And it can be someone who feels that they were mistreated in the past, okay? Mistreated. And it kind of goes hand in hand with this, a Four of Cups. So in both cases, the person is thinking of the past and hesitant to move forward because of things that did not work out in the past, or things that were done to them, or they feel mistreated, or they feel it was unfair in the past. So they're stuck in moving forward because they're caught up in thinking about that past. And then the last card here is the Seven of Swords. And the Seven of Swords is, there's a few different ways of explaining this card. It's kind of like, it can be, okay, it can be a card of trickery, you know, like deception. And maybe that's how you're feeling about your past, that you were deceived, you were tricked. It can also be a card of kind of trying to grab and run, you know, like making a break for it, just grabbing and running. And so to me, and it also can be a card, I'm sorry, but it also can be a card. There's different interpretations of the way of all these cards, by the way, but it also can be a card of trying something in a different way. And I'm feeling like you're stuck because things haven't worked out, and you were maybe treated unfairly in the past. Something happened in the past and it was unfair. You felt like it was unfair and it was deceptive. And I don't feel like, honestly, I don't feel like it's you who grabbed and ran. I feel like someone else grabbed and ran. And maybe you were left holding, you know, holding the the responsibility or the situation or whatever. But they just like, boom, they ran from the situation and you were left holding the bag. So I feel like that's why you're stuck, because you are having a hard time letting that go and moving forward, because that is so entrenched, you know, it's such a solid, you know, it's kind of cracked your foundation. Okay. So that's the why. So now, the way through is that the oracle card is about intention, and the way through is you're not going to get past that without having some place to go. You're just going to keep, it's just going to, you're going to kind of keep spiraling down around what happened, unless the place to go looks better to you and you know, excites you or energizes you. And so it talks about, this card talks about setting solid goals. And I know everybody's like, wah, wah, goals, but sometimes goals can actually, especially goals that someone feels is attainable, it can actually give you a little bit of juice. And I think you need some juice. I think that's your problem right now, is you're so affected by what has gone on that you feel like, you know, that you've run out of gas and you need some. And so the way forward is knowing where you're going to go. That's the way forward. So it talks about making an action plan, setting goals, all those things for intention. But that's, you know, some people look at that as boring, but I think it's time to sit down and make that decision. Sit down and start writing down something that you want to have happen, or an end result, so you can make a goal around the end result. And then on the Lenormand deck, you received the Anchor. And the Anchor is about stability and security and perseverance. And I think that that kind of is, that is your, right now, that's your Achilles heel. That's the problem, because of what happened to you in the past, you're having a hard time feeling stable, and you're having definitely a hard time feeling secure. And so it's, you know, that's not a light switch that you can just flip and go, okay, now I feel secure, unfortunately. So what you're going to need to do is set your goals, set your intention, come up with some action steps, move forward that way. And probably to feel more secure, you're going to need to focus on that goal. Just focus on that goal. And as you focus on that goal, your insecurity should start to dissipate, because it's going to go in the background. You know, if you have the goal in the front of your head, the just the insecurity and the fears are going to go in the background. And there's one other thing you can do, and that is come up with the worst case scenario. Pick your intention, pick your goal, and then write down what's the worst case scenario here. And usually it's something that you can, you know, the worst case scenario is nobody died. So you probably, once you get that out of your brain and onto a piece of paper, okay, this is the worst case scenario, look at it and think, okay, this is it? This is it? This is what's stopping me? It's not worth it, because that worst case scenario isn't that big a deal. So anyway, that is the reading for my cottage people. Okay, so now for the cabin people, to answer the question, why are you stuck? And your three cards are, let's see, we have the Three of Wands in reverse. We have the Eight of Cups, and we have the Lovers in reverse. Okay. And so why are you stuck? Okay, so the reason you're stuck is you might have set yourself up in a way for, I won't say for failure, but for something to not work out, because your plans might have been more grandiose than was realistic, or maybe your plans did not with your plans and your end goal or what you were trying to achieve, you didn't really realize how much work that was going to be, that it didn't deliver, it wasn't successful, and you were kind of thrown off guard that it wasn't successful because you had this kind of like no problem feeling about, I'm going to achieve this, and the fact that it wasn't successful threw you for a loop. You didn't expect that. And so it was sort of this, feeling of like, I'm perfectly capable, I know how to do this, I can do this. And then it didn't happen. And so now it's making you feel a little stuck because you didn't expect to not succeed. And the Eight of Cups is the feeling of, well, the heck with this, abandoning it, walking away, abandoning it. Well, I was going to do this, and this, there's no way I couldn't do this. I know how. I'm a successful person. I'm going to create this. And then when it didn't happen as expected, now you're just feeling like, well, to hell with this. And you're just, you're walking away from it. You're wanting to let it go. You might not be letting it go. You may be just wishing you could let it go or wanting to let it go. And it's just kind of making you stuck because you expected success and you didn't get it. And so now you want to be able to throw out, the whole kit and caboodle, but maybe you are too vested in it, or maybe your fear is if you throw that out, you don't know what you're going to do. Like, this was supposed to be the thing and it didn't work out. So now what? But you're walking away, but you're not walking away happy. You're walking away kind of or you're wishing to walk away sort of in a huff. You feel like you're just mad at the situation. This should have worked. It should have been better. My plans have all fallen through because it didn't work out. And I want to just walk away, but there's no place to walk away to because I don't have a plan B. All right. And then in all of this, there seems to, this is the Lovers upside down. There seems to be some sort of like conflict or trust issue going on here too. So maybe in this thing that you were going to do that you expected to be successful, maybe you were too reliant on someone else. They didn't do their part and you didn't see that coming. Or maybe you just don't trust your own belief system because you thought this was a no-brainer. This was going to work. There was no problem, and it didn't work out. And so like, well, clearly I don't know what I'm talking about, that kind of feeling. So you don't trust your own judgment, or you don't trust somebody else. Some sort of trust issue is like, and that's keeping you stuck too. So in your case, you had this idea, these great plans, rather big plans. No way did you think it wasn't going to succeed. And then when it didn't succeed, you want out of it. You just want out of it, but you can't get out of it because you don't have a plan B, or there's something else preventing you from just walking away. And then there's this trust issue of potentially, there was maybe disharmony with somebody. You don't trust somebody involved in the situation, or literally you don't trust yourself. You don't trust the universe. You're just like this. You don't trust it because it wasn't supposed to happen this way. It was supposed to be different. Okay. And so in your case, how do you get out of this? And Your oracle card is spirit, and spirit is basically saying you need help from above to get out of this, that your thought process is not going to really, your thought process is kind of circular right now. You'll just keep spinning round about it. It should have been this should have been this, and then this happened, and it shouldn't have been this way, and I want out of it, but it can't because of this, and it should have been this, and that whole circular thought process. So you have this circular thought process or something that's keeping you physically stuck in this situation that you need to go up for help. You need to pray, or you need to meditate or something to get some help to have a bigger perspective. And just so you know, I mean, really quickly, I just want you to know that tarot in general is a cycle. It's all a cycle. And if you know the story of tarot, the fool, starts the journey and goes through this various journey, and then in the end ends up being a fool again, starting anew. And so, like, you go through this journey over and over, and it is a fact. They always say when one door closes, another door opens. Well, that's because the whole thing's a cycle. It's all a cycle. And so you are in this portion of a cycle. You're in the portion of frustration, being stuck, something didn't work out that should have worked out, and now you can't, you're trying to unstick yourself, you're trying to figure out what to do. That's where, going to sort of a higher power, trying to get a different perspective, trying to get, the bigger picture of your life, looking at this scenario, knowing that every time you go through some sort of adversity, it's actually a learning. Actually, all of it's learning, but if you go through some adversity, that's where you learn the most. And so clearly, I believe you have gone through something that you didn't expect. And so there's a lot of lessons. And the key is to, try to embrace the lessons, find out. And so whether that be meditation, whether it be prayer, whatever it is, but you need to get out of the physicalness of the situation because it's spinning you around. Okay. And then lastly, on the Lenormand card is part of the same concept. This, you've got the flowers, and this is to say that I'm not going to use the word gratitude, even though that would apply. It's to show appreciation. It's to show appreciation of what you do have, what did happen, what was the good that happened, what were the lessons learned, what were the good people that you met because of this, why are you a better person because of this? You want to show appreciation to whatever this experience was. And, maybe the appreciation might be, hey, I tried and most people wouldn't have tried, and I tried and it didn't work out. But you want to show appreciation because something isn't all bad or all good. Everything's got gray area. So show appreciation for this experience that you have gone through. Okay. So that was the reading for the cabin people. And so now the last reading is for my villa people. So my villa people, why are you stuck? And how maybe to unstick yourself if possible. And you have the Hermit in reverse. You have the King of Cups in reverse. And you have the Magician. Okay. So the Hermit in reverse tells me that you are stuck, and you're stuck in a very isolated, lonely place. You're stuck. I mean, that may be the result of many things. I'm sure it didn't just happen, on its own. It was the result of other things, but that's where you're stuck. You're stuck in this isolation, kind of reclusive. It's not a good place, not social, and feeling lonely. And you might even be paralyzed by fear, depending on what's going on with you. And then the King of Cups in reverse, I feel like that whatever it is that's made you into this spot, into this kind of reclusive spot, is because something, you know, I'm going to guess it's someone else. Okay. It could be you, but I'm going to guess this is someone else, is, wasn't good. Well, it was not a good scenario. Either you hooked up with somebody who is, you know, has that narcissistic tendency that they're only looking out for themselves, and you were kind of just used, or they had some sort of a substance abuse problem. And so a substance abuse problem kind of ends up being the same way, because, you know, they have one need, and you're, you know, you're not the number one. You're not going to be the number one in that scenario, right? So you're somewhat used as well, whether it was on purpose or accidentally. And then, or someone steered you wrong. Okay, they just steered you wrong. So I feel like this is not you. I feel like somebody did something, or I take that back. They didn't do something, it was just who they were. Okay, it's not necessarily they did something. You just hooked up with a person that was not a good person for you, or somehow you were affected by a person that was not a good person for you, because either they were totally into themselves only and just, you know, looking out for themselves, and you were just, you know, a doormat, or they were stuck themselves in some sort of substance abuse situation, and you know, they can't be there for you because they're dealing with that, or they steered you wrong. They suggested something for you, and that just wasn't the right way. But at any rate, you're in this reclusive scenario position right now, sort of this fearful, reclusive, I don't want to socialize position, because of what this other person's, what the experience was for you to be in the vicinity of this other person, probably close vicinity too. But what's interesting is your third card is the Magician, and the Magician is like a great card. I mean, you know, makes me super happy when I get it. It is a great card. And so what that tells me is you are selling yourself so short. You are stuck because of whatever happened here, and you're all stuck. But man, you're just the person crammed in the box, all crammed in the box, and don't realize that there's no lid on the box and you can just step out. Because the Magician has so much manifesting and creation power. They can create, they can manifest, they can be innovative, all the things. So the Magician is such a card of the opposite of being stuck. Let's just say it's the opposite. So my feeling with you is you're selling yourself way short here, and that, yeah, you're having these, you know, you have wounds, and you have, you know, aftershock of what you've been through. But the reality is you are so much more powerful than what you went through. And you're so much more powerful than that. And I won't even say it was because of that, you know, like we all learn lessons, but in your case, I just think you're so much more powerful. You're not giving yourself credit for, and you just need to realize, you know, to heck with this situation, to heck with what happened to me. Me being a hermit or being isolated is, you know, it's a crime. You should not be isolating yourself. You're punishing yourself, whereas you really should be out there creating something wonderful for yourself and maybe the rest of the world too. Your oracle card is Purpose, and that goes right along with that Magician. It's like, you know, talks about divine plan and the choose your path. Yeah, you need, I mean, to wake you up and realize that there's bigger things for you. There's just bigger things for you, and that you have a path in front of you, and maybe you intuitively know what it is, like it's gnawing at you a little bit, so you might know what it is. But whatever it is, you have a path in front of you, and you have the ability to create something wonderful. And so it's your purpose. You need to just slap yourself around, get up and start moving, because you've got bigger things to do. And then lastly, on the Lenormand card, you got the bear card. And the bear is it goes along once again with the other two cards I just gave you, is like power and protection. And so I think you need to be your own hero. I think that's part of the problem, is you got whatever happened to you sent you into this recluse, and you have the strength to be your own hero, and you need to protect yourself. Not right now, you are protecting yourself in a hermit way. You need to not protect yourself in a hermit way. You need to protect yourself in a strong way, and you've got the strength, you've got the ability to do it, and you've got the power, you've got all of those things. You just need to just realize it, and then move forward. That's it. You need to realize, hey, I got it. I got all of this, and no one can hurt me, because I'm really a super powerful person, and I'm just gonna go forward in whatever way your gut is driving you forward, whatever path that is. Okay, so that was my villa, people. All right, okay, I want to thank you guys for stopping by. Click subscribe and like. I appreciate that. All right, bye-bye.